The boxing world has never been short on spectacle, controversy, or crossover moments, but November 14th, 2025 is shaping up to be one of the most unique nights in recent memory. On that date, Jake Paul, the YouTube sensation turned professional boxer, will step into the ring against Gervonta Tank Davis, one of the most explosive knockout artists of his generation. The fight is officially billed as an exhibition, but for fans, pundits, and fighters alike, it is more than just a curiosity. It represents a collision of two very different paths in the sport of boxing, one forged in traditional championship pedigree, the other built in the new world of social media stardom and celebrity-driven fights. Together, they will headline a card stacked with legitimate title bouts, ensuring that all eyes are fixed on this event when it unfolds. For Jake Paul, this is another step in his ongoing campaign to prove himself as more than just a gimmick in the squared circle. Ever since he first laced up the gloves in front of millions of skeptical viewers, Paul has been met with derision and doubt. Many dismissed him as a sideshow, a YouTuber chasing clout in a sport with a rich, brutal history. Yet over time, his commitment to training, his selection of increasingly difficult opponents, and his ability to draw massive audiences have silenced many critics. He may not yet be considered elite by purists, but there is no denying that he has shaken up boxing's business model, selling pay-per-views, filling arenas, and attracting a younger demographic of fans who may never have tuned into a traditional fight card. Facing someone of Davis's caliber, even in an exhibition, represents Paul's boldest move yet. On the other side of the ring stands Gervonta Tank Davis, a fighter who embodies the modern knockout artist. With speed, power, and a relentless approach, Davis has risen through the ranks to become a multiple weight world champion. He is one of boxing's true stars, a man whose highlight reel knockouts have cemented his reputation as must-watch television. For Davis, stepping into an exhibition with Jake Paul is both risky and fascinating. Risky, because he has little to gain in terms of legacy by fighting a social media personality, but fascinating because it places him squarely in the pop culture spotlight, allowing him to showcase his skills to a massive global audience that may not normally follow his fights. The announcement of this match sent shockwaves through the boxing community. Traditionalists scoffed, questioning why a fighter of Davis's standing would share the ring with someone like Paul. Yet the reality is that boxing has always thrived on spectacle. From Muhammad Ali's exhibition matches to Floyd Mayweather's bouts against Conor McGregor and Logan Paul, the blending of mainstream entertainment and legitimate boxing has proven to be a financial success. The Paul vs. Davis exhibition follows in that tradition, and it is likely to generate enormous attention, both in terms of media coverage and streaming numbers. What makes this fight particularly intriguing is the contrast in styles and backgrounds. Jake Paul, standing taller and naturally bigger, has relied on his physical size and improved fundamentals to secure victories. His jab, right hand, and ability to manage distance have given him a foundation to compete with professional fighters, even if not yet at the elite level. Gervonta Davis, by contrast, is shorter, faster, and infinitely more seasoned. His explosiveness, footwork, and precision punching make him one of the most dangerous fighters pound for pound in the sport. Watching these two share the ring is less about the competitive balance and more about the spectacle of how their styles will clash. Can Paul use his size and reach to frustrate Tank? Or will Davis's speed and power simply be too overwhelming, even in an exhibition setting where the stakes are technically lower? The undercard of this event adds another layer of legitimacy. Several legitimate world title fights are scheduled to take place before the main exhibition, meaning that hardcore boxing fans will still have plenty to sink their teeth into. This blending of serious competition with celebrity-driven entertainment is part of why the November 14th card is being called one of the most important nights for boxing's visibility in 2025. The sport, often criticized for being fragmented and for failing to put on the best fights, is suddenly benefiting from the Paul brothers' ability to draw attention and from promoters' willingness to combine spectacle with substance. For Jake Paul, this fight is about respect. He has long said that his goal is to earn acknowledgement from the boxing world as a true fighter, not just a YouTube star who dabbled in the sport. Facing someone of Davis's caliber, even in a non-official capacity, is his way of forcing people to take notice. Win, lose, or draw, the mere act of stepping in with Tank is a statement. If he can survive, land meaningful punches, or even push Davis into competitive rounds, his credibility will grow exponentially. For Gervonta Davis, this exhibition is less about proving himself and more about maintaining visibility. Tank already has a legacy of spectacular knockouts and championship victories, but this fight offers him an opportunity to expand his brand beyond hardcore fans. By taking on Jake Paul, he places himself in conversations across mainstream media, social platforms, and even casual sports fan circles. He becomes not only a boxing star, but a crossover figure, something that has always defined the sport's biggest icons. The build-up to the fight has already been heated. Both men are masters of promotion in their own way. Jake Paul's social media reach is unparalleled, with millions of followers across platforms who eagerly consume every post, video, and trash talk session. Davis, meanwhile, has a reputation for delivering sharp words in press conferences and then backing them up with devastating performances in the ring. The press conferences, face-offs, and interviews leading up to November 14th are expected to be events in themselves, generating viral clips that will only increase anticipation. As with any crossover fight, there are skeptics. Some argue that exhibitions diminish the integrity of the sport, turning boxing into more of a spectacle than a competition. Others counter that these events breathe life into a sport that desperately needs mainstream attention. The truth likely lies somewhere in the middle. While purists may roll their eyes, there is no denying that Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis will bring in millions of viewers, many of whom may stick around to watch the title fights on the undercard or follow Davis's career after the fact. In that sense, the exhibition serves as a gateway, expanding the audience for boxing as a whole. From a stylistic perspective, the fight is a puzzle. Jake Paul will likely try to keep the fight at range, using his jab to prevent Davis from closing the distance. His size advantage could help him tie up Davis in clinches, forcing the smaller fighter to work harder to create openings. But Gervonta Davis is used to overcoming size disadvantages. He has made a career out of closing distance quickly, slipping inside, and unleashing short, devastating combinations. His explosiveness is something Paul has never experienced before, and that could make the difference, even in an exhibition setting. The rules of the exhibition have not yet been fully disclosed, and those details will matter. Will there be larger gloves to minimize damage? Will the rounds be shorter or fewer than in a standard bout? These factors could determine how competitive the fight looks. Regardless, fans are unlikely to care about the technicalities. They will tune in for the spectacle of seeing whether Jake Paul can hang with one of boxing's most dangerous fighters. The financial aspect of the fight cannot be ignored. Both Paul and Davis stand to make enormous paydays, with projections already suggesting this could be one of the highest-grossing events of the year. For promoters, networks, and streaming services, it is a goldmine. For fighters on the undercard, it is an opportunity to perform in front of one of the largest audiences they may ever get. The trickle-down effect of such events cannot be understated. The night of November 14th will be a fascinating test of boxing's evolving identity. Is the sport willing to embrace celebrity-driven exhibitions alongside legitimate competition? Can the two coexist without diminishing each other? Jake Paul versus Gervonta Davis will provide answers. If the fight delivers entertainment, even without being a true competitive contest, it will likely pave the way for more such events in the future. If it falls flat, it could serve as a cautionary tale about mixing spectacle with sport. No matter the outcome, the fight has already succeeded in one respect. People are talking about it. Fans are debating, critics are weighing in, and anticipation is building. That is the essence of what boxing has always been about, creating moments that capture attention, stir emotions, and leave people waiting for the next big event. On November 14th, Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis will step into the ring, not just to trade punches, but to test the boundaries of what boxing is and what it can become.